Morning, peeps. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing? Hopefully, you're all doing very, very well. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, to please hit that subscribe button. We are getting close to 25,000 subscribers, people, which is a nice milestone. Don't forget as well to like and share the vids. It all helps, right? It all helps. All right, before we start, massive shout out and congratulations to a long-time subscriber, Adam Watkins, whose wife has given birth to daughter number 2. So congratulations to Adam. It's always good to get some good news in a time when we're not getting much good news. So if you could all say congratulations to him in the comment section, it would be much appreciated. All right, what have we got to talk about today? Let's start with this one. Trevor Bryan. I haven't seen this fight. Trevor Bryan stops Stiverne in the 11th, put him down twice in the 11th round. Again, I haven't seen it, so I don't know if it was a dud fight or an exciting. Could have been an exciting fight. I have absolutely no idea. But yeah, now Trevor Bryan is, what is he now? The vacant. Oh no, he's the WBA regular world heavyweight champion. That's what he is, right? I mean, if I'm right, I'm not really up to date with the story, but if I'm right, Manuel Charr is champion in recess, which basically means he's probably going to be fighting Manuel Charr next, which was the fight that was supposed to happen. I don't know where Trevor Bryan is in my heavyweight rankings. I don't know if he's a guy outside the top 30, 40. I swear I have no idea where he is. What I do know, though, is that he's a couple of wins away from becoming AJ's mandatory. That's what I do know, which is absolutely nuts. Again, though, I haven't seen the fight. It could have been an exciting one. Look, they're both way past their best, him and Stiverne. Which, look, if they're both way past their best at exactly the same time, it could have been a slugfest. It could have been. I doubt it, though, because every time I watch Stiverne, he does look like he gasses out in like 2 rounds. I hope this is the end of Stiverne getting these opportunities, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, he gets so many opportunities, it's scary. He doesn't deserve any more. Let's move on from that. But yeah, let's see what happens with Trevor Bryan versus Manuel Charr. Again, haven't watched it. Probably won't watch the full fight. We'll watch the highlights, though, and see how that one played out. Talking about champion and recess and sort of belts being upgraded, Manny Pacquiao has now been made champion in recess by the WBA. Ugas is now the champion, which I guess makes sense. Like I said, if Manny Pacquiao wants to have this, I don't know what it is now, exhibition fight with Ryan Garcia, fine, go and do what you want to do, but don't hold the division up. Let someone else fight for your belt. And it looks like no one's going to fight for the belt. It looks like Ugas is just going to be upgraded to the champion, right? I don't even know what term to call it. The normal champion. Let's just call it that for now. Some have said this is good. I like it and I don't like it. I'll tell you why. It's more likely now that we see Ugas versus Errol Spence, which is a good fight, by the way. Ugas is a good fighter. But what that does for Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford is make that fight even harder to make. And the reason being, if Errol Spence beats Ugas, Errol Spence now has 3 belts. I mean, Terence Crawford would have 1. I mean, if you thought it was... I mean, Errol Spence was talking about a 60-40 split or a 70-30 split with 2 belts. Imagine what he's going to say if he tries to bring 3 to the table. What's he going to say then? And look, I dare say the Ring magazine might chuck a belt over his waist as well. It's going to be ridiculous to make. I mean, ideally, you want to see Ugas versus Terence Crawford. That's what makes sense for me. Ugas versus Terence Crawford, the winner fights Errol Spence. Right? If Errol Spence wants to have a fight interim, almost like an Avdi Yildirim type fight, which like what Canelo's doing, fine. But it really should be Ugas versus Terence Crawford. That person then takes 2 belts to the table. Errol takes 2 belts to the table. The Ring chuck over their wonderful, nice, shiny belt, and we have a blockbuster fight for the summer of 2021 or the end of 2021. I don't see it playing out like that just because Ugas is a PBC fighter, and I can see him, honestly, fighting Errol Spence. And if you're Errol Spence, I mean, it's a chance to get another belt, right? You're one step closer to cleaning up. But again, imagine what that does when you talk about going to the negotiating table. It's real issue, this one. Real issue. As for Pacman, look, he's champion in recess, so he literally can just come back and fight for his belt. So you do wonder what's going to happen. You do wonder if Pacman will have this Ryan Garcia fight. Wait to see how things all play out with Errol and Terrence and Ugas, right? He literally could do this. And then possibly, and I'm not quite sure because I don't know what Pacquiao will be, 42, 43 probably by the time, possibly fight the winner in his last fight for all the marbles. I don't know. We'll see. It's got to the point now, and look, I would never, ever, ever accuse Pacman of ducking, but I don't think he really wants to fight Terence Crawford or Errol Spence. I don't, if I'm honest with you. So look, we'll see how this one plays out, but that's the latest with Pacman. So he hasn't been stripped as such. A lot of people are saying he's been stripped. There's a difference between like being champion in recess and literally saying, okay, I would like to fight for the belt now, and being stripped. There's a big difference. All right, is there any story? I don't know if there's any stories at all. Just a line here about Herring and Frampton. It has been cleared to be for the WBO title. And the reason why some people might say, well, it was always going to be. Well, it was always going to be, but Shakur Stevenson, who is Herring's mandatory, was trying to get involved in trying to put a block on this, basically. But now it has been cleared, so Herring versus Frampton is for the WBO title. And that's the only reason that fight would have made sense. Frampton obviously wants to become a freeweight world champion, the first Irish boxer, I believe, to do so. So if it wasn't for a title, then that fight wouldn't have made any sense for him at all. So I'm good on that. Caleb Plant versus Caleb Truex, the two Calebs, goes down tomorrow. Let's see how that one plays out. I think Plant's a bit too much for Caleb Truex. Caleb Truex is going to have to try and make this a bit of a dogfight, like he did James DeGale at the Copper Box, where he was fucking, man, he was a dog that time. But that was, I'm going to say about 3 years ago. 3, maybe 4. Because they've had the rematch since. James DeGale then fought Chris Eubank since then. Chris Eubank hasn't fought for 2 years. So maybe about 4 years ago. You wonder what's left in the tank for him. We'll see. Josh Warrington versus Lara and Avanesian Kelly. That all goes down at the SSE Arena. Interesting. No fans there. You're surprised. Obviously, I'm guessing York Hall, Bethnal Green's been booked up, but you wonder why go to that arena when you can just go to a smaller one. But I'm guessing they have some sort of deal there. What else have we got here? There isn't much stories today. Jeez. Bit here on FuryJoshua. Might as well talk about it, and there's nothing else to talk about. Eddie Hearn hopes to have deal signed within 2 weeks. Eddie Hearn needs to stop putting pressure on himself by releasing these statements. That every time he seems to go on, whether it be a podcast or talking to a broadcaster or a YouTuber, he always puts pressure on himself by stating dates and times, and this is going to happen by then. And then when it doesn't happen, people jump on him. He should just stick with we're working on it. We're working on it. Use the Dana White model. You watch Dana White, and Dana White never really commits. We're working on it. We're going to get it We're going to get it made. We're going to get it done. It's going to happen. Those are Dana White's lines. Never really gives you dates. Never gives you dates, just because people then start to hold him to like, well, you said 2 weeks ago the fight was going to be signed into. So we'll see. What I've heard, though, is that contracts have been sent out now. So that's the good thing, right? My sources are telling me that contracts have been sent out. So it's just a case of everyone going through it. You can imagine how many fucking lawyers are going through these contracts. And yeah, fight's on. The fight's on, people. I mean, I know people like to think that it's not on. It's on. Like, we've heard a lot less. Think about how much in the last... So go back 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago, we was hearing from Usyk and Usyk's manager and WBO. That was the chat 4 weeks ago. Go back a bit further. 6 weeks ago, we heard from Wilder and we're going to court. We don't hear any of that anymore. Have you not noticed how that chatter has just died down? Nothing. All you're hearing now is contracts and where the fight's going to take place, and 90%, 95%. It's happening. It's happening, people. Trust me, it's happening. And it's going to be spectacular. Honestly, it's going to be spectacular. It's almost a fight that requires no co-main event, no undercard, no nothing. Literally, no nothing. Just give us the fight. Literally, that's it. You could make it an hour broadcast. You don't need any undercard. Obviously, I'd like to see some good undercard fights if they are going to happen. I mentioned Chisora versus Parker as a possible undercard fight. No doubt, AJ will have a few of these 258 management people under there, so Boatsi will be under there. I wouldn't be shocked if Campbell Hatton's under there. Do you know what I mean? Those type of people will be on the undercard, but it doesn't require any, I don't think anyway. It's just that special. A bit here about Canelo Saunders. That fight is done. I saw Pep Talk speak to Billy Joe Saunders' trainer, Mark Tibbs. Mark Tibbs? It's not Mark Tibbs, is it? That's going to bug me. 1 second. It is Mark Tibbs, isn't it? Yeah, Mark Tibbs. It is Mark Tibbs. So yeah, he's basically go to the channel. You'll see his Pep Talks interview with Mark Tibbs, and he's basically spoke about the fight. So that fight is going ahead, although it's not officially been announced, has it? But that fight is happening, provided. Imagine Yildirim fucking shocks the world. Imagine Yildirim shocks the world. Would that be a bigger upset than FuryJoshua? I think that would be a bigger upset than FuryJoshua. I was going to say Tyson. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I think it would be a bigger upset than FuryJoshua. If Yildirim were to knock out Canelo, imagine this is the guy that don't even look like he can be hurt. Yildirim lands a clean one, and that's that. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right, guys. Oh, quick one. The live, obviously every Sunday. I'm not 100% sure I can do it tomorrow, just because tomorrow's a busy day. Obviously, I've got my show on TalkSport. Tune in if you want, between 2 and 6. It's a long stint. On air. Energy. And I say 2 and 6. You have to get there for like 11. It's a long stint. And then we've got the January transfer deadline day. It's not even January, it'll be February. But deadline day is on Monday. And I've been chosen by Sky to cover it. But we have to get there for something like 3 in the morning. So really and truly, I have to come home and go straight to bed. So I'm not quite sure if I can get it done. But if I can get it done, I just realised I'm using the bigger laptop today. I completely forgot. It looks like you can barely see me. But if I can get it done, I'll leave something on the community tab to let you guys know. If I can get it done, it's going to be a short one. It's going to be around 7:30. We'll get it done. Live, 7:30 tomorrow for an hour before bedtime. Peace.